Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, traders say businesses are gradually picking up after directive on legal status of old Naira notes. Police declare Bauchi lawmaker wanted over culpable homicide. Ahead of governorship election, INEC asks security agencies to perform optimally. And away from Nigeria, Cyclone Freddy death toll in Malawi, Mozambique passes 100. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. The news in detail. Traders in Kano say businesses are gradually picking up since the presidential nod and the central bank's directive to banks on legal status of the old Naira notes. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin brings report that although customers are still using point of sale to pay for transactions, the old 500 and 1,000 and 200 Naira notes are now being accepted by traders. His report.
Across many parts of the commercial city of Kano, majority of traders say they have now resumed to collecting the old Naira notes following the CBN announcement. But some say the cash is not available in the market. We have heard the news on the radio, but you see there is still no cash in the market. People are yet to start bringing out their money, but when people started bringing it out, we will collect. According to traders in some market of Kano metropolis, most people are still not aware that CBN has directed the use of the old 500 and 1,000 Naira note, which is why some customers and traders alike are yet to start accepting it. Whatever the CBN governor says is like the president, because he can't do it without the approval of the president. But you see, some people are still not accepting it. But we here in the market, if they bring the money to us, we will collect. Even now, I have accepted 10,000 Naira old note. And anyone that bring it to me, I will collect it. Although people are still trooping across all commercial banks in Kano to get cash, but traders say less than 24 hours since the announcement, businesses are fast picking up in Kano, and that many people have complied to accepting the old notes. Truly, because of this announcement, we have started collecting the old Naira notes, and businesses are picking up. And even those who are bringing goods to us from the village, once we call them, they will bring it because they know that there is cash now. We will just give them. So gradually, things are picking up here with us. Even now, I want to buy ingredients to take to my house, and I'm going to give them the old Naira note. So people are accepting it now. At the moment, cash is still scarce in circulation, but most people believe that with the latest development, things will improve in the next coming days. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria to commercial banks recognizing old Naira notes as legal tender has elicited happiness among residents of the Federal Capital Territory. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal reports that long silence of the Apex Bank since the Supreme Court order on March 3rd has left the residents confused. The report.
Central Bank of Nigeria in a statement on Monday recognized the use of the old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira note as a legal tender till 31st December this year. It is a sigh of relief for many bank customers who find it hard to access their hard-earned deposits in the bank owing to the CBN's Naira redesign and cashless policy. Some bank customers said they are happy with the development, but government should avoid the kind of confusion their silence must have caused.
It's a good policy, but unfortunately it came late because people have suffered a lot. You know, you could hear people dying while going to get currency, while going to get cash, either at the ATM or the banking hall. It's quite unfortunate that despite the fact that many Nigerians, many we in Nigerians have gone against this policy, and that CBN and with the Supreme Court decision almost close to a week plus now. And just yesterday, CBN governor is coming out to tell the public that they can continue using the old currency.
Baba, I never collect. I never even see on this money safe. I still the reason I'm sure. I still the reason I'm. But because why I see, I still the reason I'm be say, you know, say before if God talk, we go wait for president. Now president never talk, but CBN don't talk. Sure, but I still the reason if now be the cocoa.
Some said that the people really suffered from the cashless policy implementation, adding that many were subjected to unnecessary hardship.
According to what I hear yesterday, they say CBN say make we use the old Naira notes. And for the direction where we see where the thing they go, the thing no make sense. That means Nigeria know they move forward. Why it no make sense to me be say, I think say they have plan for in the initial stage of introducing the new currency. But now coming in direction of stopping the old currency, bringing the new currency to come in existence. Unfortunately, yesterday night they said we should go back to the old currency. That means I don't see the government, whether the government have any good direction.
They are taking us back. Since they have already taken it out, let it remain out. The way forward is just to make sure that the new currency is being printed out more so that it will just circulate. I didn't succeed with getting money because everybody, they locked the gate and they are saying they are giving old currency, but yet there was no money. And I've been there for over 2 hours, so there's no need. I have to go back.
The Supreme Court had on March 3rd ordered that the old Naira notes remain legal tender till December 31st.
Despite the Central Bank of Nigeria directive to make the old currency a legal tender in the country, people are finding it very difficult, especially at the ATM machines, and they complain to us that the machine is not dispensing the new or the old currency, making life difficult for them. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
Residents of Abuja have expressed dismay with the rising level of failed transactions from e-payments as the Naira scarcity continues to bite harder. A legal practitioner, Chukwudi Victor Odoeme, says banks can be sued for such failed transactions as they make life difficult for them. Zainab Garai has more.
Despite the Central Bank of Nigeria directive that the old Naira notes remain legal tender, residents have continued to complain of failed online transactions as cash remains unavailable. This, they said, has made life difficult and unbearable for them.
Sometimes immediately there's a declined transaction or something, you get your money back. So sometimes it's just immediate. Sometimes you wait a couple of hours, the end of close of business for most banks, but it's not happening like now. And I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing such.
I've been having several unsuccessful transactions. Like the other time I tried to transfer money from my account to someone, of which they debited me, but the person has not received the alert for over 2 weeks. And that transaction was to settle a business of which I invested money on. But the money couldn't get to the client. That's how I missed that transaction.
However, a legal practitioner, Dr. Chukwudi Victor Odoeme, explained that banks are liable to be sued as long as the bank users have their monies in the bank and are legally entitled to withdraw such monies at any time.
Banking transactions, the relationship between the bank and the customer is a contractual relationship. So the meaning is that once there's a failed contract, you can actually approach the court to ask for damages, and damages in addition to doing what they ought to do in the first place. Ordinarily, most of the transactions are reversed within 24 hours, but when it doesn't, and there's no particular explanation as to why that has not been done within that time frame, you may have to approach a court to ask that that transaction be completed and damages paid.
Apart from failed mobile transactions, some residents also expressed complaint of failed transactions from point-of-sale operators, a situation they consider unfortunate.
Like personally, I refuse going to bank so that I don't have any heart attack. What I did was I filled the online form, but up to now they keep telling me they'll get back to me. Like there was one that said that they're going to respond by 7th of March. Till now, they have not reversed the money and no comment from my bank. I think it's one issue that needs to be looked into.
Nothing is bad in internet banking and other things, but do you think that we are grown up to that stage? The stage is calculated. We calculate very well. When the head is, when the foundation is weak, everything coming onto it that should be weak.
Residents in the FCT are calling on the Central Bank of Nigeria to make both old and new Naira notes available in order to ease the stress associated with accessing cash. Zainab Karaye, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Zainab, for that report. Now moving on, prices of grains and cattle went up as old Naira notes returned to circulation in Iware, a weekly market in Taraba State. Findings by our reporter revealed that the old Naira notes were accepted by traders in the market, which operates every Tuesday, leading to the increase of prices of grains and animals in the market. Grains and cattle were last week sold using cash payment or transfer. However, the situation has changed on Tuesday as old Naira notes was accepted by traders in the market. A bag of maize sold at the rate of 14,000 Naira last week now recorded 3,000 Naira increase to sell at the rate of 17,000 Naira. A large cow, which was sold at 270,000 Naira last week, now attracts a new price of about 320,000 Naira. Traders say that acceptance of old Naira notes in the market has improved business activities in the market. Police in Bauchi State have declared member representing Bauchi Federal Constituency, Yakubu Shehu wanted, placing a bounty of 1 million Naira on him. Shehu was elected lawmaker on the platform of PRP but later defected to the APC. A police bulletin released by police spokesman SP Ahmed Wakili said the Nigerian police force under the authority of the Inspector General of Police Usman Baba had declared the member Yakubu Abdullahi Shehu wanted in connection with a case of criminal conspiracy causing grievous hurt, inciting disturbances of public peace and culpable homicide. It said the security agency asked anyone with useful information about his whereabouts to contact them, promising a 1 million Naira bounty on the lawmaker. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, has praised the security agency's performance during the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections, urging them to replicate same during the forthcoming governorship and state assembly elections. Noel Sampson reports that he made the commendation during the Commission's meeting with the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security.
Security of officials, materials and voters is imperative on election day. For the INEC chairman, security agencies have not done badly during the presidential and National Assembly elections. Mahmoud Yakubu commended the cooperation of the different security agencies during the just concluded elections, with a call for them to do more in the impending governorship and state assembly elections.
We look forward to improved performance in the election holding this weekend. The governorship election will hold in 28 states of the Federation. As we are aware, governorship elections in 8 states, Anambra, Bayelsa, Edo, Ekiti, Imo, Kogi, Ondo, and Osun states are held off-cycle and therefore not conducted during the general election. However, elections will be conducted for all the 993 state constituencies nationwide. Our state offices have made available to the Nigeria Police Force, being the lead agency in election security, the delimitation details for both the governorship and state assembly elections.
The National Security Advisor, Babagana Mogono, commended the peaceful conduct of political parties and their members during the elections. He said national security should not be relegated to the background during the forthcoming elections.
So far, so good. We do not envisage anything that's going to be terrible or apocalyptic in terms of the next few days. But that does not mean that we should all do away with our state of readiness. We must comply with the rules. We must also allow everyone, I've said this so many times, to exercise their fundamental rights as citizens of this country. What we do not want to happen is for anybody to preempt and to take the law into his or her own hands.
Rivalry and competition for political offices are more intense during governorship elections, shaped largely by local politics. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Ahead of the March 18 governorship and State House Assembly election in Kaduna State, the state governor Nasir El-Rufai has introduced a free bus service in the metropolis and is also embarking on a series of visitation to communities across the state to seek support from the electorates. But the leading opposition party in the state, the People's Democratic Party, say the free bus service is nothing but an indication that the ruling party in the state is losing the support of the masses. The report.
The APC lost to PDP in the presidential and National Assembly election in Kaduna State. The ruling APC led by Governor El-Rufai is therefore deploying a series of strategies, including free bus service, to avoid a repeat of what happened during the February 25th polls.
So if the APC government introduced the vehicle for the people, why? It's because of the situation we are in. We have the same situation at the back? No. Maybe this cashless policy and people are suffering. This is the aim of the state government introducing these buses, because finding 20 naira, 50 naira, 10 naira, it has become a war.
We must know that AP's government in Kaduna State has never donated such items either during Ramadan fasting, Salah, Christmas or Easter to the masses of Kaduna State. Why now?
With the APC running on a same-faith ticket, the PDP is alleging that the ruling APC is taking advantage of religion to win the election.
We wrote another petition on the 1st of March this year asking the police to be mindful of plans by the APC to incite the public through the use of some Islamic clerics. We, the PDP, strongly condemn and reject this blatant abuse of power by the APC-led government.
All what I want to pass this information to the general public is that APC does not feel a Muslim candidate for anything rather than the competency. Maybe we feel they are competent enough. Maybe in some case, maybe some years, we may decide to feel maybe Christian. So our concentration here is not based on religion. It's based on the simple majority. We want to vote. We want to win the election. By any way possible and legal.
Religion has been brewed to divide us, especially this election. And this election is very, very sensitive. And I would want to call on the electorates that after the election, whoever is going to be in office is going to run the office based on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not on the Bible or the Quran. So let's vote people based on their competencies, that they have empathy, they have courage, they have character.
As the March governorship election draws closer, politicians are appealing to INEC and security agencies to be unbiased in the discharge of their duties to ensure that only the will of the people prevail. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still in politics, candidates from 8 political parties contesting the Gombe State governorship election have stepped down from the race and endorsed the incumbent governor, Inuwa Yahaya of the APC, who is seeking a second term. Speaking on behalf of the 8 candidates and the political parties who stepped down for Inuwa on Monday, the state chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, who is also the governorship candidate of Zenith Labour Party, Muhammad Gana Aliyu, said they took the decision to endorse Governor Inuwa due to his track record of achievements in the state. But the people in a swift reaction described the move as an unproductive venture that will reap no political success in the coming polls. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail examines the implication of Inuwa's endorsement on the forthcoming governorship elections in the state.
The 8 political parties that withdrew from the Gombe governorship race and endorsed Governor Inuwa Yahaya of the APC are Zenith Labour Party, National Rescue Movement, Social Democratic Party. Others are Action People's Party, Action Democratic Party, African Action Congress, and Allied People Movement.
After a long and careful deliberations, for the achievement of His Excellency, under his stewardship. On his stewardship in the state and assessing his performance generally, especially in the area of peace and security, education, health, example, Go Health, infrastructure and humanitarian services across the state. We find it necessary to rally around him and give him the necessary support for his second term ambition.
In a swift reaction, the spokesperson of the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Gombe State, Muhammad Barre, said the endorsement of the APC candidate by 8 other governorship contestants has no effect on the chances of the PDP in the upcoming elections.
I find it funny and very amusing. One, because these so-called 8 political parties, I keep asking, are they really in existence practically on the ground in Gombe? What do they really have as a party structure? What is their impact? What is their followership in Gombe? At the different levels of the elections that have been conducted so far, from the senatorial and House of Reps election, who are their representatives? Do they have people there? And what impact, even if they do, have they made? So you can clearly see that they are just parties in name and probably on paper, or you can even call them portfolio parties.
Meanwhile, the APC Governorship Campaign Council, in its reaction to the PDP's comments, said the 8 candidates who have collapsed their structures for Governor Yahya have thousands of supporters with potentials to alter the outcome of the poll.
They are not mushroom parties, they are active parties, they are registered political parties with structures, structures across the state. And they have a sizable number of membership. If you check, we have seen their registers, and I know that one political party has almost 20-something thousand followers. So if you add cumulatively, you are talking about almost 200,000 people, in membership for the 8 political parties. So it's a good thing. Nobody can say they are mushroom parties. They are registered parties. Check the ballot, you will see their names.
Initially, 14 candidates had registered to contest the governorship election in Gombe State, but with 8 of them endorsing the APC candidate, only 6 are left, with the APC, PDP and NNPP being the 3 major political parties in the race for the top job. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail, reporting for Trust TV.
Nigerians will return to the polls on Saturday, March 18, elect governors in 28 out of the 36 states. The poll would also offer the opportunity to elect lawmakers for the 36 states. In Lagos, 40-year-old architect Badebo Rhodes Viva of the Labour Party and a former member of the All Progressives Congress, Abdulaziz Adediran, who is now the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, are seeking to end the reign of the ruling party in the state. The report.
Prior to the February 25th general polls, the contest in Lagos was expected to be a straight fight between Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the APC and Abdulaziz Adeniran of the PDP. However, the victory of Peter Obi in Lagos State during the presidential polls has changed the dynamics. The governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Badebo Rhodes Viva, is now seen as a major challenger for Alausa House and possibly end the control of the APC in the state. The 40-year-old architect has become a rallying point for young voters who are seeking a change of government in the state. Sanwo-Olu, who is one of the few governors seeking a second term in office, said he has performed well, especially on his themes agenda. The acronym of the 6 pillars of the state's strategic development agenda, namely traffic management and transportation, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment and tourism, as well as security and governance. Rhodes Viva, on the other hand, said the APC-led government in the state has performed poorly since the return of democracy in 1999. Some Lagos residents speak on their expectations ahead of the polls.
Towards this forthcoming election, it might not be in the same vein of the previous election of the 25th of February. There will be a difference because a lot of people felt so concerned about the condition of the country, that there was no money, sales are not there. But right now, things are better. Reason because the federal government have said we should go ahead to transact with the old currency. It's now back to legal tender, which is good. And in this vein, I think it's going to assist a lot of mind change towards the election. That is how prepared we are for now.
I'm prepared. It's Saturday, we go out to vote. It's not the first time I'm voting, so we just go out to vote. No one is denying you also of our civic responsibilities. So there's no pressure in voting. There's no overdo or overthinking about it. I go out to vote, that's all.
I know it will be better than the February election because of the cash crunch during the February election. It affects the election a bit. People were cash strapped, but with the new announcement by the CBN that the banks should start accepting the old note 500 and 1,000, I think it will ease the pain of the people, and which will also impact positively on the election, on the preparedness by the politicians and the voters too.
Lagosians are being encouraged to actively participate in the March 18th governorship election. Many are hopeful that the Independent National Electoral Commission will deliver a free and fair polls.
The federal government says a total of 12,988,978 attacks were recorded during the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections period in Nigeria. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, in a statement on Tuesday, said the attacks originated from both within and outside Nigeria and were targeted at public websites and portals and averaged around 1,550,000 daily. Pantami said the attacks skyrocketed to 6,997,277 on presidential election day. He said a committee set up by his ministry to curtail the activities of cyber criminals during the elections started work on February 24, 2023 and ended work on February 28. Pantami said in the run-up of the 2023 general elections, threat intelligence revealed an astronomical increase in cyber threats to Nigerian cyberspace. The Federal Fire Service says it will inaugurate fire stations within markets across the country. The zonal controller in charge of Kano and Jigawa, Ahmed Garba Karaye, stated this when he visited Singa Market to assess the level of damage caused by fire on Monday in Kano. He said the service is committed to preventing and controlling fire. According to him, the investigation, inspectorate and enforcement arms of the service will inspect and ensure fire safety compliance in public buildings. Rising cases of fire outbreaks in Kano markets is as a result of high weather temperature and substandard electric appliances. He said excessive heat, fuel and oxygen as major catalysts of fire triangle can trigger fire without the presence of fuel, kerosene or diesel. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sympathized with traders affected by the recent fire outbreaks in Kano State. In a statement from his media office on Tuesday, Tinubu bemoaned the inferno which affected a section of Singa commodity market in the city on Monday, a few days after similar incidents in two other markets happened. The statement, signed by Abdulaziz, quoted the president-elect as describing the incidents as disturbing setbacks for the traders and the economy of the state. He called on the authorities concerned to get to the root of the rising cases of market infernos around the country and offer support that would cushion the losses suffered by the affected traders. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, tackling the menace of killer containers. Do stay.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our major stories. We told you that traders say businesses are gradually picking up after directive on legal status of old Naira notes. We also told you that police declared Bauchi lawmaker wanted over culpable homicide. Moving to security, abductors of a mother and her daughter have demanded a fresh 2 million naira ransom and 2 motorcycles to release the victims who were kidnapped from Janjala community in Kagarko local government area of Kaduna State. The bandits on February 5th invaded the victims' residence and whisked away the woman, Shamsia, her husband, Mustafa, and their 16-year-old daughter, Mahapaza, at gunpoint. However, after payment of 2 million naira ransom, the bandits freed Mustafa and held Shamsia and Mahapaza. The Madaki of Janjala, Samaila Babangida, who is Mustafa's older brother, said on Tuesday that the kidnappers had demanded another 2 million naira and 2 motorcycles to release the remaining victims. According to him, the bandits released Mustafa on Monday after collecting 2 million naira, adding that they told him to go and raise another 2 million naira and 2 brand new motorcycles before the wife and her daughter would be set free. Police in Katsina State have apprehended a notorious bandit, Suleiman Ibrahim, I beg your pardon, a member of the Ankarami terrorist camp in Rugu Forest. The arrested terrorist kingpin confessed to having killed over 15 people in the 3 years he operated as a bandit. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
The police operatives from Duzima Area Command apprehended the terrorist during an operation in Duzima, Bazari, Safana, and Damusa local government areas.
This suspect that you are seeing here with me, by name Suleiman Ilyasu, alias Erbusha, is 28 years old and is from a village called Asaurara, Sabor Ungwa, Walawa, Jibia local government area of Katsina State. He's a member of a notorious syndicate of terrorist bandits, particularly under the camp of one Dankaremi. Dankaremi has been on the wanted list of the Nigeria police for committing crimes against humanity in Katsina, Zamfara, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. He confessed to have killed more than 15 persons in several attacks in various local government areas of the state.
The suspected terrorist also confessed to have masterminded several attacks which led to killings, abductions, and rustling of thousands of domestic animals across the Flashpoint local government areas. He also confessed to have participated in numerous attacks on various communities in both Katsina and Zamfara states, leading to killings and destruction of properties worth hundreds of millions of naira. Look, I know I masterminded several attacks and participated in many others within the 3 years I served in Dankarimi terrorist camp. But that does not mean the police cannot temper justice with mercy. I was in the terrorist camp as a result of some conditions I was given. While admitting his relationship with Dankarami, a notorious terrorist kingpin who has been on the police wanted list, Suleiman Ilyasu said Dankarami is operating in Katsina, Zamfara, and some parts of Kaduna State. He, however, pleaded with the police operatives to temper justice with mercy, even as they assured of charging the suspected terrorist to court for prosecution after investigation. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Still on security, a total of 5,138 people were killed within 87 months due to armed invasions in different parts of Benue State. Executive Secretary of Benue State Emergency Management Agency, Emmanuel Shaw, stated this on Monday at a press conference in Makudi, the Benue State capital, during which he gave an update on the humanitarian crisis in the state. Shaw noted that the death figures were recorded between 2015, when the present government of Samuel Ortom assumed power, and March 13, 2023. He said within 7 years and 3 months, 18 out of the 23 local government areas of the state were affected by the killings, adding that in 2015 alone, the state recorded 1,177 killings, while 809 were killed in 2016. The breakdown indicated that 43 persons were killed in 2017, while the state recorded 440 killings in 2018, a total of 174 in 2019 and 88 in 2020. Shaw added that the killings took on a colossal dimension in 2021, with a higher figure of 2,131, while in 2022, the state recorded 172 killings, and so far in the 3 months of 2023, it had recorded 104. The rise in cases of unlatched containers falling on road users in Lagos State and the country at large has become a source of concern for many Nigerians. The menace has inspired a petition with thousands of signatures calling on authorities to check what seems to have become a menace on Nigerian roads. In this special report, Trust TV examines its causes and likely ways of curtailing it. The report.
It was a Black Sunday on January 29, 2023 in Lagos, when a truck conveying a 20-foot container lost control, with the container landing on a commercial bus and killing 9 people. The bus was said to be waiting to pick passengers when the incident happened at Ojuelegba Bridge in Surulere, the same bridge which has been notorious for such accidents in the past. Since the January incident, there have been several cases of accidents involving containers. Many say the rate at which containers are falling on Lagos roads calls to question the existing safety practices and remedial actions put in place by the authorities to avoid such ugly incidents, which more often than not leave behind trails of death and anguish. Several factors have been identified as being responsible for the high rate of container accidents, all mostly bordering on human factor. Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Lagos Territorial Office, Ibrahim Fariloye, said most of the accidents are avoidable with strict adherence to safety protocols by truck drivers.
I experienced when the tanker, either gas or petrol tanker, explodes. What we found out was that a certified vehicle will be loaded at the depot. Once they get out of the depot, they transfer the cargo, the tank, to another low-level truck. So most vehicles may not pass through normal standard. Remember, the Federal Road Safety Commission just had an agreement with Nigerian Port Authority to checkmate this menace.
For the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, the frequent container crashes pose a serious challenge in effective management of traffic in the state. Director of Public Affairs of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Adebayo Taufik, blames truck drivers for not always obeying simple traffic rules and regulations on the highways, while some of them drive under the influence of alcohol.
Your causes are brake failures and overspeeding, and not excessive driving and not adhering to traffic signs on our roads. You would agree with me, in about 2 weeks ago, the state recorded nothing less than about 15 different container falling across the state. You have one that happens at Oju Elegba, you have one at Okota, Meron, Badagry, K2. But preliminary investigation and the research at which the agency conducted revealed that most of these trucks are not well packaged. Packaged in the sense that the owner or the driver doesn't make sure that these trucks are in good condition.
A truck driver who speaks on the development reiterates the need for his colleagues to observe all safety protocols on the roads and always ensure their trucks are in good condition. Stakeholders say with the cases rising on a daily basis, appropriate measures should be taken to end the menace.
The outgoing British High Commissioner in Nigeria, Catriona Laing, has described her over 4 years working relationship with Nigeria's parliament as excellent. Laing, who visited the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, in Abuja to bid him farewell, said she is confident her successor will build on the already existing relationship between the two countries.
I've had some highs, many highs, a few lows, but overall it's been an absolutely wonderful experience, and it's a very strong foundation of that has been a really good working relationship with Mr. Speaker and his team. We've worked together on a number of very important electoral bills. His own initiative, the foundation he set up to support young legislators, and I was very privileged to support that. Congratulations, obviously, on the success of your party. So I'm sure my successor will be working with you in a different capacity of some kind. And I will be passing on great encouragement to him to continue to deepen and strengthen the relationship in whatever that capacity is. So
your time here, sometimes I think your passion was so evident in many of our discussions. And my hope and my prayer is that whoever succeeds you will carry on in that same trajectory, in building and fostering an even more sustainable relationship between our two countries.
Now in crime, Delta State Police Command has arrested 27-year-old Mike Oko in army camouflage uniform while planning to cause mayhem in the state. The command spokesperson, Deputy Superintendent of Police Bright Edafe, on Monday in Asaba, said the police received information about a syndicate that disguised as military personnel to deceive their unsuspecting victims. According to Edafe, the Commissioner of Police, Ari Muhammad Ali, detailed a combined team from the Department of Operations Cobra 11, which comprised of operations from Response Squad, Raiders Squad, and Operations Department to wade into the matter. He stated that operatives stormed their hideout around Okwe Axis in Asaba, Oshimili South Council, where Mike Okon and Wilson Sunday, 24 years, both from Cross River State, were arrested. Edafe said the suspects were found with army camouflage uniforms, a pair of black jungle boots, 3 green berets, and 1 black beret. He also confirmed that operatives of Eagle Net Special Squad had arrested a 26-year-old Ahmed Umaru, a tricycle rider, while others escaped into the bush. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. More stories shortly. Welcome back. Let's now join Chiamaka Nwafo for business news.
The International Air Transport Association, IATA, has announced that African Airlines traffic rose 124.8% in January 2023 compared to a year ago. January capacity was up 82.5%, with load factor climbing 13.9 percentage points to 73.7%, the lowest among regions. Total traffic in January 2023, measured in revenue passenger kilometers, rose 67.0% compared to January 2022. Globally, traffic is now at 84.2% as of January 2019 levels. Domestic traffic for January 2023 rose 32.7% compared to the year-ago period, helped by the lifting of the zero-COVID policy in China. Total January 2023 domestic traffic was at 97.4% as of January 2019 level. The International Air Transport Association says foreign airlines revenue blocked from repatriation by the Nigerian government has increased to $743 million from $662 million in January 2023. The association disclosed this on Tuesday in a letter addressed to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sedika, and signed by Samson Fatokon, the association's area manager, West and Central Africa. The Air Transport Group and the global airline community wrote to the federal government seeking a special intervention for the resolution of airlines' blocked funds in the country. Since the amount increased from $440 million in May of 2022 to $464 million in July the same year, the trapped funds have been linked to some of the challenges in Nigeria's aviation sector with far-reaching effects. And finally, in stocks, it was yet another bearish session on the floor of the Nigerian stock market on Tuesday, as the all-share index declined again by 0.12% to close at 55,722.90 points against the previous close of 55,788.37 points on Monday. The market capitalization closed at 30.356 trillion naira, shedding 35 billion naira. The market broke close negative as 9 stocks gained against 17 stocks that declined in their share prices. An aggregate of 199 million units of shares were traded in 3,898 deals valued at 2.8 billion naira. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
Away from Nigeria, more than 100 people have been killed in Malawi and Mozambique after Cyclone Freddy, packing powerful winds and torrential rain, returned to southern Africa's mainland. Freddy barreled through southern Africa at the weekend for the second time in a few weeks, making a comeback after it first hit in late February. Malawi bore the brunt, counting at least 99 deaths after mudslides overnight washed away houses and sleeping occupants. Another 134 people were injured and 16 are reported missing. Malawi's commercial capital, Blantyre, recorded 85 deaths. A commissioner at the Department of Disaster Management Affairs said the death toll is expected to rise. In neighboring Mozambique, at least 10 people died and 14 were wounded. Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe for sports news.
Milwaukee Bucks beat Sacramento Kings 133-124 in the NBA regular game as Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 46 points on his return from injury to lead the Bucks to a win. Giannis had 12 rebounds and 4 assists against Sacramento Kings. The two-time NBA most valuable player had missed his team's last 3 games due to a wrist injury. The Bucks trailed Sacramento Kings by 15 points before hitting back with 80 points in the second half. Brook Lopez scored 23 points, clashing with Sacramento's Trey Lyles, leading to the ejection of both players. The Bucks are top of the Eastern Conference with a 49-19 record, ahead of Boston Celtics, who lost 111-109 to Houston Rockets, a team at the bottom of Western Conference. Jalen Green hit 28 points, while Jabari Smith Jr. hit 24 points to help Rockets hold off Celtics, as Jalen Brown scored 43 points. Klay Thompson had 33 of his 38 points in the first half, as Golden State Warriors beat Phoenix Suns 123-112 at home. Stephen Curry added 23 points to help the Warriors fend off a late rally from the Suns. And in football, Ahead of the announcement of new hosts for the 2025 African Cup of Nations, the African Soccer Governing Body CAF has announced new dates for visitations to countries that have shown interest in hosting the competition. The last time Nigeria hosted the competition was in 2000 when they co-hosted with Ghana. Nigeria is among the countries that have shown interest and is also planning to co-host with Benin Republic. CAF will inspect Zambia first from 28th to 22nd March, Morocco from 24th to 26th March, while Algeria will host the team from 27th to 29 March 2023. The CAF inspection team will visit Nigeria and Benin Republic from 31st of March to 2nd of April. CAF is expected to announce the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations host country during its Congress later for Cotonou in July. That's Sport News. I'm Ajeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.